Okay, so let's move on to the wrap up. Again, end of year one requires the specific files SDM, CRSC, SCTE, and work-based learning records. Okay, CRSC data is required for students who completed department classroom courses. You don't submit self-contained courses for end of year. Okay, and these are expected for grades 9 to 12. Now, if you have students in grade 7 to 8, it is optional to submit data for end of year one. However, if you do need to report them, only the grades are expected or required. You don't have to report the credits and all of those stuff. But however, if you have that information, you are welcome to submit that as well. So if you opt not to submit CSC records or end of year one data for grades 7 to 8, then expect that you'll get Cert 99s, but you could ignore those. Okay? Then LEAs identify CT participants by submitting course completion and the student course completion data. So anyone who is participating or completed a CTE course, regardless if they are in a pathway, are considered participants. Now, for those CT pathway completers, you need to submit an SCTE record showing that they are completers to a specific pathway, and you also have to submit the SCSE record showing that they enrolled in that specific capstone course. And of course, you have to report the SCTE record in the current academic year to be included on the report. So what are the data used for? It's used for data quest, dashboard, for SARC, and data, and then the same data are then repurposed and submitted to the federal government in these different requirements. And of course, end of year one does not require a SELPA approval. So you have up to July 28th to certify for end of year one. And then, of course, if you need to make corrections, you can recertify, you can make corrections and recertify up to until 8/25 of this year. So again, the impact of not certifying, you'll have zero counts on data quest. You'll have zero counts on your CTEG, and then it will also impact your grant eligibility. And then, of course, your CCI indicators will potentially be orange because this is compared to last year's. I'm not sure if there is a CCI last year, so maybe this year this is irrelevant. Okay? And for federal, you have your Carl Perkins program funding. So you'll have zero counts and it will impact your grant eligibility. Okay, so as usual, you have your resources that you could refer to. Again, you could go to the CalPAS user manual, go to the CDE system documentations page for all the references. And also, if you need to download the PowerPoints, you can always go to our CSIS website. And if you need help, I would rather you send in a service ticket, and that way anyone at CalPAS would be at our CSIS support desk would be able to address your questions. And this is the fastest way to ask for help. Okay? And of course, you can also send an email, and it will be transcribed and created into a ticket as well. For phones, I would rather not have you call because it will just leave a message that will be transcribed later on into a ticket. But this is the slowest way to get help. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, there are two listservs. You have your CSIS FICMAT serve. This is a two-way listserv, or you can ask vendor-specific questions, or you could probably ask the community for help with regards to data-related questions, not just particularly for CalPAS, but for other CD required reporting. And then, of course, you have your CalPAS listserv. This is, if you subscribe to this, you will automatically receive your CalPAS flag messages once they are transmitted to all of the subscribers. Okay? And with that, we thank you for your patience. That's it. Good luck in your end of year submission for those high schools or districts who maintain high schools. Then yes, you are required and expected to submit EOY 1 data. If you're in elementary school, thank you for your patience attending this session, but you probably may not need to submit data for end of year 1. However, if you have an EOY 1 certification appearing in your certification page, you can certify with 0 counts on those reports. Okay. Okay. So
I
did
think we
we
got
answer?
one leftover question in chat, Kyron. Brianna and Juliet are kind of echoing this question. So
Okay.
if a student completes 2 semesters of a capstone course with a D in one semester for the grade and an A in the other semester, and they are averaged out to a B, is that considered completing, or do both semester grades have to be a C minus or better?
Guess it could be fine. So think about this, guys. Alpas does not list how you determine if a student is a completer or not. So you may have different internal processes in determining if a student is a completer. I even had a question regarding someone may have failed their concentrator course. So logically, why would the student move on to a capstone course, right? But then again, that student moved on, and so move on to the capstone course. And if that student completed the capstone course with a C minus and more, and you guys consider the student as a completer, then submit it to CalPads. Okay, submit it to CalPads. With regards to the 300 hours, that's essentially, I think that's not that doesn't account for all 3 courses, right? Or it does? I think it does. Yeah. So as long as it's C minus or higher, regardless if it's average or not, then you may consider the student capstone as a CTE completer. But the
Yeah,
assumption is,
no, I was going to agree with you. It's a local decision. We don't
yeah,
validate the grades, even though you report them. There's no validation. So if you determine that student's a completer within your district, they don't have to
yeah,
pass every course, just that capstone, like Kyron said.
yeah. Also, bottom line is you need to report that in the current academic year. So regardless if the student took the capstone course in the wrong order, they took it last year, you still have to report that CRSC and SCSC record this year so that the student will be counted. And with that, we thank you for your patience. That's it.